Coming up on the National Rundown, prisoners are taking care of man's furry pals, father takes his daughter's friend to her dance, and hear all the latest on a famous tennis player's pregnancy.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans, because love has no labels.
To the National Rundown, I'm Ayana Gore-Nelson.
And I'm Bob Duncan. For those who use the controversial drug, it's National Marijuana Day. Support of the legalization of the drug is higher than ever before. 61% of Americans are now in favor of marijuana. 76% of Americans ages 18 to 34 support marijuana. Those over the age of 65 oppose it, with only 37% in support of it. Only 7% of Americans view marijuana as more a harmful drug than alcohol. 50% of Americans have now admitted in a recent poll that they have tried the drug. Those who support marijuana hope to see an increase in the states that legalize the use of the drug.
Curious about why a dad took 2 dates to his daughter dance? Here's Danielle Kennedy to tell you all about it.
10-year-olds Angelina Saputo and Elsie Miller have been friends since they were in kindergarten.
You do pink.
All the numbers.
Angelina's dad, Russ, says he remembers when the girls first met because Elsie's smile was so bright.
I had told my wife, I was like, who is that little girl right there? I just cannot get over those cheeks and that smile.
But tomorrow marks a sad day for Elsie. It's the 1-year anniversary of her father's death.
It made me sad too, just thinking how sad she was.
That's why the Saputo family wanted to do everything they could to keep Elsie smiling. Last month, Angelina had a daddy-daughter dance here at Trinity Lutheran School in Elkhart. Russ showed up with 2 dates.
We decided that if she doesn't have anybody to go with, then she could have gone with us. We ate a lot of food, and we got to dance and play games.
Memories, Elsie says, that reminded her of the times she'd spend with her dad.
Because he always makes me laugh.
Even when she and Russ had to do some silly father-daughter dances.
Sizzled like bacon.
It was funny. It takes me out of my element because I think the last time I danced was with my wife 21 years ago at our wedding.
Seeing her smile made me happy.
It's a memory none of them would trade for the world, an act of kindness that Russ hopes will make someone else pay it forward.
The world's never going to change if we don't all start treating each other how we want to be treated.
A lesson in friendship and love.
Don't be mean to your best friend, and hope that they'll be your best friend forever.
Reminding us.
Always have fun.
In Bristol, Danielle Kennedy, WSBT 22 News.
It seems that baseball isn't Matt Scherzer's only talent. The Chicago Cubs outfielder and Lower Cape May Regional High School graduate received $35,000 Wednesday evening for painting portrayal of the final out of the 2016 World Series. The painting was sold at the Bricks and Ivy Ball, an event that raises money for Cubs charities. Teammate Chris Bryant and Anthony Rizzo are featured in the painting that Scherer was completed over the winter.
Atlantic City is approved for a master plan amendment in hopes to attract new businesses. The Casino Investments Development Authority approved the tourism district expansion during its hearing Tuesday afternoon. The amendments will be used to develop land uses ordinance over the next year. The city's authorities have been criticized for bureaucratic red tape and plans to promises more permanent uses in zoning areas around the city.
Now here's David King with sports.
Let's head over to UEFA's Champions League, where last night the King was finally slayed as the end of an era for Barcelona as they were bounced out in the quarterfinals of Champions League by Juventus. Juventus entered yesterday's contest up 3-0 after shutting out Barcelona at home. The return leg was in Barcelona this time. They needed 3 goals to win, and unfortunately the result was a 0-0 tie, eliminating Barcelona. Barcelona, though, still has a chance for La Liga this weekend as they take on Real Madrid in El Clasico. They must win this to have any chance of winning La Liga. If not, the season's over for them. Now over to hockey, where the Nashville Predators take the ice later tonight, holding a 3-0 lead in the series over the top-seeded Chicago Blackhawks. The Predators became just the 6th team in NHL history to shut out their opponent back-to-back on the road to begin a series. And lastly, it's my favorite food and the most interesting sport in the world. Cheese rolling at Cooper's Hill is in Gloucestershire, England, returns May 29th. The goal is to chase a giant cheese wheel down a hill. The first person to catch that cheese wins the best prize of them all, of course. They get to take that cheese home and eat it. That's it for sports. I'm David Kincaid. Now back to you at the desk.
Curious what in the world kisses and cars have in common? Stay tuned as our own Cody Decker tells us all about the uncommon duo.
Look at you. You're at the top of your game. You're unstoppable. Nothing can throw you off track. Wait, is that your car? Uh-oh. Yeah, I saw that coming. That will throw you off track. You're looking at around 10 grand in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Let's try this again. Smart move. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Open up your books to page 360.
Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Talking about inspirational quotes.
You gotta believe in yourself. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
A new leash on life for several inmates at a Philadelphia prison. The prison has been learning how to take care of sheltered dogs in order to make them adoptable. This brings them opportunities to make new relationships with great dogs. The dogs are now scheduled to arrive at their new homes with new families. Most of the inmates plan to work with animals after their release.
And now here's Ellen Unger to give us some insight into the entertainment world.
Thanks, Bob. So you may or may not have heard of the Wendy's Nugget Kid. He tweeted Wendy's asking how many retweets for a year's worth of free nuggets, and they responded 18 million. So far, 16-year-old Carter Wilkerson has 3 million retweets, but the problem is that it's too close to breaking Ellen DeGeneres' selfie retweet record. So she brought him on her show and offered him a flat screen TV, a year's worth of Ellen underwear, and asked that every time he got a retweet, that the person also retweet her selfie. A student decides to create a slideshow explaining why her crush should date her. Lizzie Fenton, a student at University of Minnesota, describes her sense of humor, classy fashion sense, and her diverse hairstyles. She sent her crush the slideshow, and he responded with, "This is very nice. Please stop contacting me." It's okay, though. Even though it didn't work out for her dating life, her slideshow went viral, and she is receiving love from thousands of people on social media. According to TMZ, Drake is cutting one of his fans a huge break. He told authorities to drop felony charges against a Pennsylvania woman for breaking into his house and drinking all of his soda. The woman somehow got into his Hidden Hills, California mansion, put on one of his hoodies, and then drank his Pepsi, Sprite, and Fiji water. Drake believes the woman has mental issues and thinks it's cruel to make her a felon and send her to jail. That's it for entertainment news. Back to you guys at the desk.
Now let's head over to Neri Rodriguez and find out what's going on in the world.
Thank you, Ayana. Sometimes you really need a McNugget. Police in Eastern Ohio say an 8-year-old boy drove his 4-year-old sister to a local McDonald's in their father's van after learning how to drive by watching YouTube videos. The unidentified youngster snuck out of the house in East Palestine after 8 p.m. on Sunday after their parents went to sleep. No charges have been filed against the two. In Georgia, a teen's wild prom proposal winds up being a bust, literally after a fake arrest from police so he can ask a girl to prom. After being handcuffed for supposed drugs found on him, the senior pulled out a sign from the squad car that asked his friend to prom. She said yes. I'm just glad that no one was hurt. What would you do for a free car? How about lock lips with it for more than 48 hours? That's what a group of folks are doing in Austin, Texas at a local car dealership. The contestants have been shaming themselves since 7 a.m. as part of the Kiss a Kia contest. If after 50 hours there is still people hanging on, the dealership said they would draw the remaining contestants' names out of a hat. Netflix announces today a new original series entitled Disjointed, featuring Kathy Bates. Netflix waited until today, Thursday, because it's the weekend. Bates plays the owner of a marijuana dispensary that has spent her life advocating for the legalization. Despite the timely announcement, the 20-episode series won't actually be available till August 25th. That is your World News Minute. I'm Neri Rodriguez. Back to you at the desk.
Emma Morano, the oldest woman according to the Guinness Book of World Records, has passed away at age 117. During her life, she held the titles of World's Oldest Woman and World's Oldest Person and World's Oldest Woman. One thing that she created was to helping her achieve such a long life was her love of cookies that she would eat every day.
With man-made climate change altering the environment, it often feels like there's nothing you can do to positively impact the climate. But gardening columnist Adrian Higgins of the Washington Post says there are some tips and tricks that can make your garden more environmentally friendly. Things like cutting back on the amount of gas-powered lawn equipment that you use and growing your own fruits and vegetables can help turn your lawn into a truly green space.
Now let's hear about all the new competition from our very own Cody Decker.
Hey guys.
Hey, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. So where did this all take place and how many people participate?
Yeah, so this Kiss a Car competition happened at the Southwest Kia in Austin, Texas, and 20 people participated. Now some people went into the dealership and were kind of like, I don't really want to participate, and they ended up leaving the dealership and not participating that day, but 20 people participated and they had to keep their lips on the car for 50 hours.
Now, what were the rules of the contest?
So, again, the contestants had to keep their lips on the car for 50 hours. There were 10-minute breaks every hour, and that's really not a lot of time. If you're standing for an hour and you got to keep your lips on a car, I mean, you're probably bending down and it's just not comfortable. So that break was probably helpful. Once it got down to one final person, then they won a car.
So what were the end results?
So after Tuesday afternoon, there were 11 people remaining out of the 20. And after the 50 hours, there were 7 people remaining. So what they decided to do was draw a name from random out of a hat, and that was how they would award the car, and a person was able to drive home. I hope that the Kia dealership washed the car if that was the actual car. But I want to ask you guys: would you participate in something like this, or is it a little too outrageous?
For me, I don't think I would participate in anything like this. Yeah, I don't want my lips on a car.
Bob,
it depends if I have that much time in a day.
I was going to say, if you have that much time, and if it's a weekend, I mean, this was during the week.
Yeah.
I hope these people were not having jobs or calling out of work to try and
kiss a car.
Kiss a car, exactly.
Thanks, Cody.
Thank you.
Thank you. A New York Presbyterian hospital has created a new playlist for saving lives. The new list was created to help train first responders in hands-only CPR. There are 40 songs from Shakira's Hips Don't Lie to Bare Naked Ladies 1 Week that all made the cut. These tunes all have the recommended 100 beats per second benchmark needed to get the heart pumping.
Tuesday marks 3 years since the tragedy of Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. The plane took off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport with 239 people on board, headed for Beijing. The plane never made it to China, instead vanishing somewhere over the Indian Ocean. Today, the airline announced it would be first to begin tracking all of its aircraft with space-based satellites.
Coming up, see what Mavish Khan thinks about the newest messenger of peace.
Listen, I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you judge me for having a problem. No one is going to know that I need help. I need help. I know that no one is going to judge me for having a problem. I realize that I'm not perfect, but it all really started to change because you listen.
Tennis juggernaut Serena Williams announced Wednesday that she and her fiancé Alex Ohanen are expecting their first child this fall. Williams posted a side profile shot of herself in a yellow swimsuit on Snapchat with a caption that read 20 weeks before deleting it. If Serena's 20-week post is accurate, she would have suggested that she was about 8 weeks pregnant when she won the Australian Open in January. She will not be playing again in 2017.
Our own Mavish Khan shares her excitement about the recent youngest ever messenger of peace elected in the UN.
Malala Yousafzai was named the youngest ever UN Messenger of Peace. Malala is known for her strength and resilience when being targeted by terrorists for attending class in Pakistan. She was shot by the Taliban, but that has not stopped her. If anything, she has become stronger, a powerhouse and a model for all girls to look up to. She will have a special focus on girls' education. I love Malala because she is everything people don't expect her to be. She comes in traditional clothes with her head covered, and many don't expect that she is witty, funny, and has a vision for all girls to go to school. She has constantly broken stereotypes for Asian Muslim women. As a child of Pakistani immigrants, I am constantly so proud and sometimes even emotional when where she has come from and what she has done. That's my opinion. Back to you at the desk.
Stay tuned for the upcoming weather forecast.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason, because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Here's our very own Sierra Lewis with the weekend forecast.
So for tonight's forecast, there will be a high chance of rain with a 54-degree low. So for the next 5 days, the weather is looking like, starting tomorrow, a high of 80 degrees with a low of 54 degrees, clouds and wind. Then Saturday will be 58 degrees and then a low of 40 and even more cloudy. And then Sunday it will be a high of 57 degrees with a low of 45 with some morning showers. And come Monday, it'll be 63-degree high with a low of 46, which will be partly cloudy. And then Tuesday, there'll be light rain with a high of 60 degrees and a low of 50. And then up next is the weather window. I took a shot of, outside the building, and it's so nice outside, and it's clear, and like a little bit of clouds, but more than not, you just see the sun. And then there's another picture coming up soon, which is you see bunts. And it's so nice outside. Oh, not bunts, I'm sorry, it's Babbitts. So it's lovely weather. And it's pretty much what we're going to be seeing this, well, it's not what we're going to be seeing this weekend, but you know, coming up, it's going to get better. I mean, what we see outside is that it's cloudy, but you know, the weather's still going to be nice. It's 60-degree weather, 70-degree weather. I mean, besides tomorrow's thunderstorm, I think we're going to be fine.
So what are your plans for the weekend?
Catch up on, you know, some homework, you know, and, you know, catch a movie because, and, you know, just go outside because even though the sun won't be shining, you know, like the weather will still be nice.
Bob, do you have any plans for this weekend?
It's the NHL playoffs. My plans are already booked for the next few weeks.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about.
It's Little Sid's weekend, so my 2 little cousins will be joining me on campus, and I'm going to show them around, and they have a lot of activities planned for them to do.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But that's all the time we have for today. I'm Ayana Gore-Nelson.
And I'm Bob Duncan. Thanks for watching.
Another dead nigga association.
I got loyalty, got royalty inside my DNA.
This is why I say that hip-hop has done more damage to young